Yo, ravers! What do you think makes a musician underrated or overrated? I think what decides here is its popularity and what and how the project performs. I look at the frequency of releases, uniqueness of the sound, experimentation, and of course, overall quality of the work, including mixing and mastering. After that, I look at what competitors of that artist are creating. It also includes how the project positions itself and what it gives to the audience beyond the music. It could be the music videos, style of the covers, level of performances, or, for example, social media management. Even though the same author label is not an artist, they created really interesting videos, which sometimes brought the artist to a new level of popularity. Already on that basis, I look at how good an artist is. For example, we have Prodigy who makes super average sound quality, but he is famous. Firstly, because of his energized performances. Secondly, because of his simple and inspiring quality work of the 3 albums in the actual live series. And thirdly, because he has rich parents, and Prodigy is one of the best projects of Atlantic Records. I have no proof, but try to convince me otherwise. At the same time, you can easily listen to the same Fortet, JMX6 or Bikla instead of him. I don't find any strong difference from Gibson, but their levels of popularity are vastly different. At the same time, we have underrated artists who are doing interesting things, but for certain reasons, they rise in popularity much slower than their competitors. One of them is Nitepunk. Georgian Lasha Mamulashvili started writing music and learning DJing from the age of 15. When he heard dubstep in a talent show, he previously practiced Georgian folk dancing before moving on to street dancing. During 5 years of writing music, he became a star on the local scene under the pseudonym Lasha Kicks. After that, he went to New York to develop his new project Nitepunk. At the age of 20, Lasha traveled alone, without friends and family, to a whole new environment. Later in an interview for Forbes, he remembered, pretty much the next 4 or 5 years were different jobs, still struggling and finding a few hours a day to produce music. The beginning was pretty crazy, but I feel I never really gave up. This is where we seamlessly transition into his music, a sound he has honed long and hard. This guy hooked me with his unique sound that I haven't heard anywhere else before. What is his sound? Let's hear one example. In my opinion, this track has the strongest and heaviest drop of all time in electronic music. From this track, Nitepunk started gaining popularity. And here are more examples. Nitepunk tracks are crazy bass lines and drum parts that take the best of EDM trap and fuse it with other styles. I'm amazed when I hear his atmospheres, which are made up of simple and clear melodies. They turn out to be very uplifting, pleasant, sometimes even goosebumps. His music is energetic and suddenly inspired by the Prodigy with their broken breaks beats. Only the drum parts is much harder, and the bass roars like someone let a dog out. You can feel the influence of old-school hip-hop in his music, which is also reflected in the mixing of each track. Or here is my favorite composition with the rapper So.
Show me how you vibe on this. Hold me when live on this. Show me how you vibe on this. Nitepunk went live on this, yeah.
He's very experimental and is regular. This is what UK Garage sounds like when Lasha took over. And this is what the most unique bass music track I've ever heard sounds like. But it's better to listen to the whole track to realize how special it is. Also, his music is complemented by his style in the form of sharp, very bright, stylish photos covers, and videos, which are often dominated by the colors black and red. When I first looked at this picture, I was thinking, man, that's what a Georgian hedgehog looks like. Including its first pointly logo fits in very well. Why the first? Because after releasing his first album, Lasha started releasing tracks with a new style in 2024. It all started with this track. In it, Lasha explains his new direction with "Pardon me, I'm kinda sick on you, we no longer relate on you, and this is part where I step on you." Along with this, he did a promo in which he beat himself to a bloopy pump. Lasha Mamulashvili as Tyler Durden in the movie Nightclub. Now Nitepunk's music has become more dirty. Here, for example, is a track "I'm the Shit." And bro, I don't judge you for having that opinion. We all love you. And one more example. Now that I talked about his music, it's time to answer the main question of this video. What makes him underrated? After all, if you think about it that way, he's doing great. He's done tours in the United States, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. He's performed at major festivals around the world like Tomorrowland. He's been endorsed by SoundCloud. He's been interviewed by Forbes and Billboard. He's collaborated with major artists in the scene along the lines of the same abstract. And come on, he's opening for the Prodigy at a concert in San Francisco. And it's true, it does get a lot of respect, but it's not as cool as it may seem. He did an interview with Forbes for 1,000 views. Billboard is Georgian, not international. So is it a big success? I don't think so. What about festivals? It's all about comparison here. For example, the statistics in Spotify are not the best. And on YouTube, everything is set for interesting clips. It's clear that some of his works shoot for 800,000 listens and over 1 million. The problem is that this has only been accomplished through collaborations with big names, and only one track has gotten big numbers, when he's the only one listed as a contributor. Also here is a remix from a well-known drum and bass producer. It's especially sad to look at all this when you see the statistics of other representatives of the scene. That said, the difference between Lasha and them is that his music straddles the line between commercial sound and underground, even in new releases. Let me remind you that his music sounds fresh and stylish, while the main part of the bass scene likes to copy the same works, including their own. The point is, I don't see any outright weaknesses in this project. Yeah, I don't like the way the recent releases have turned out. Some of them aren't memorable, don't have cool sound design, and don't make you scream. What a sound! What a bass! What a groove! But that's not a problem. Lasha keeps experimenting, and that sometimes produces better results. I believe that a talent like him can overcome the barrier and continue to evolve. How can he become as popular as his music deserves? It's a matter of time and diligence. Lasha is the kind of person who is willing to persevere long and hard and not give up. The example of the moving to the USA shows how he is able to fight to get what he wants, even if it costs him 5 years of hard work without great results. And no matter how awesome any artist is, he cannot be considered underrated if he decides to give up and finish fighting for his favorite cause. I love Nitepunk, and consider he's the Borjomi of the electronic music world. He's brilliant, especially this mini comic in honor of the release of his new single. It's awesome. The visuals that make him the talent David Gagohe is something with something. The atmosphere, the broken crazy rhythms. Briefly, give him time and listen to what he's doing. And don't forget to share this video. Ravers!